What I'm going to do is, temporarily, I just glued these tape strips on there, just for temporary attachment. But after I place the front, I'm going to pull these off and do a full scalp bond. I'm going to put adhesive up here so that when I lay the system into the adhesive, even when we pull the hair, it's going to feel like it's coming out from the scalp. Okay? But the first thing I want to do is attach the front. Okay? So I'm going to stand behind it, kind of guesstimate where this should sit. Really, when you're standing over your subject, actor, client, whatever, you can almost tell if you're this way, this way, this way, this way, too low, too far back. You can almost just feel it. You hardly even have to look. And if they're made properly, you know, they're really easy to place. Now, I've got this on pretty good. I haven't even pulled out all the backing yet, but it's a pretty good hold. And these bionic tapes in the front are really going to help during my cut. Okay. Now let's pull these off. So that I have enough strength to do a haircut. Now I'm not going to bore you with a whole haircut because I'll definitely lose you, but I'll do a real quick and dirty one. Alan Denfield Bush in Sassoon years ago had an expression, when in doubt, whack it out, you know, so we're just going to grab hair and cut it and get it off the head. Okay, so that's on good enough, and that's going to help me do the cut so that I can pull hard on it. But even though we haven't cut the lace off yet, I want you to realize that already this doesn't look like a normal hairpiece. Let's get all this off the piece. All these black knots have disappeared. Because remember, we got to tie every one of those hairs in. There's no black knots. Also, when the hair separates with gravity, you know, we get scalp. You don't see that with systems, especially systems that have dark hair. And I'll tell you, if you're doing high definition on a set, or God, even if you're just doing something for the street, if people are looking at someone and they see hair coming out from the skin and they see hair coming out from the scalp, there's no way anyone would ever think of a hair system. And you saw what he looked like. Even now we haven't done the cut. And what a difference hair makes on someone. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. You know? He's a good-looking guy, no doubt about it. Okay, so let's do a quick and dirty haircut. Just a couple little tips on this. In the front, of course, you can just get this hair off. No problem. You can go around and do a rough cut just to get hair off. Like I say, when in doubt, whack it out. Balance. But you got to be careful when it comes to thinning hair systems. It's very critical the way you cut. The key to getting the right densities is to make them the right densities and never thin. Because if you think about what thinning shears do, you know, they only cut on the top of these little spines, and they put little tiny hairs that kind of make hair stand up. And let's say this is the scalp. Because if you go like this, we thin it, you got these things that make it want to stand up. You really need to get rid of those hairs, or not have them, by ordering the right density. Density is critical. We conquered the fronts years ago, but density is what I concentrate on now, so that this hair now has space and it moves and it flows, because you have spaces between the hairs. Does it make sense? Yeah. Okay, so let's just take some more of this off. Another thing. Of course, I'll get his hair is already like this long here, right? So what we're going to do is let that drop out. And notice I'm cutting on the vertical. Vertical. That's horizontal, right? Okay. So, and this way I don't get any, well, not yet. That's not too bad. I'm going in there and fix that. But if I cut this way, I'm going to get some lines that could be lines of demarcation. So if you cut on the vertical, or if you over-direct the hair, you know, forward, and then when you cut, when it comes back, you get layers. You don't get those blunt lines. And again, it's not a cutting class, so let me just kind of get this off fast. Okay, with Tommy, Let's just do something like that he can slick back or wear back like whatever. Just some very workable hairstyle. So let's just over direct this up so we won't have heavy lines. Okay. I've got these cheap shears because on planes lately I keep forgetting to check them in and I have to give them up at TSA every time I'm flying now. Have you had to do that with your shears or your utensils yet? No? Okay, I am stupid. Yeah, if you over direct this way, cutting on the vertical, you don't get heavy lines on the side. So let's do some of that more here.